this is Sarah, the Stitchin' Mommy, and I'm here on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025 for my weekly cross-stitch update. And Smokey is in here with me already. I was already chatting with my sister earlier today, so she came up during my phone call and started, sleeping up here. And she was already here when I came to film, so that's perfect. Okay, so wrong page. Where are we? There we go. Okay, so I have a couple things at the beginning. I think this might be a longer video, and I'm getting a late start, so I might have to finish some later. We'll have to wait and see. I was contacted by Sabrina over at Lady Marmalade in Stitches here on YouTube, and she is trying her hand at designing. So she's opened an Etsy shop that's called Sweet Lemonade D Studio, all one word. And right now, I think she only has the one pattern in her shop, but I'll put a picture up of the pattern. It's called I Am Who I Am, with all the names of Jesus on it, or some of the names of his I am statements, I believe, that are in the book of John. So I know, yeah. So that is a really fun pattern, and I thought I would share that with you. She is offering a giveaway for all of you to win a PDF of that. So if you would like, in the comments, use the word lemonade, because that's part of her shop name, Sweet Lemonade D Studio. And sorry, Smokey's distracting. Use the word lemonade in your comment. Don't use the word win or giveaway or free or any of those troll words. And I won't be able to film next week, but I'll be filming again in the following week. So you'll have 2 weeks to put the word lemonade in your comment, and I will draw a winner in 2 weeks to get a PDF of that chart. So that'll be fun. So I wanted to support her in her new designing endeavors, and that's exciting. So I also got some Stitchy kindness from Lynette over at Hexagon Stitches. I had been working on Azure Ornament, and I ran out of the color I'd chosen for this really long one. They're using like a really light blue or a white, and I had a blue color. This blue in particular, and I was gonna run out. I can tell I'm gonna run out. So Lynette reached out to me and said, hey, I have some old silks for you from their thread of the month. One of them looks like it might be close. So she sent me some threads to test against. And she actually sent, oops, I dropped something, 3 different ones to see if any of them were a match. So this one was the closest, because the one I had is kind of a solid. This one's a little too dusty. This one's a little too variegated. But this one is still not quite perfect. So it's not the exact same color. Let's see, where is it? Anyways, this one's a little brighter. But I think it might be a closer match than the light blue that I have. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend a strand of her floss and a strand of my floss for the last little, the last set of swirlies I have on this piece. So that'll be fun. So thank you, Lynette, for reaching out and helping me out. She also threw in, because of course thread can't travel alone, a couple of her patterns. She has a project pouch instructions for how to put a finished design cross-stitch work. This example is embroidery, it looks like, but she has one on the back that's a cross-stitch piece that you can make a project bag out of. So that's fun. I have done similar things before, but sometimes it's nice to just have all the math done for you. So that's really fun. And one of her designs called Stars in Your Eyes, which I think she might have designed this for Black Sampler November or something like that. So that's a really cute one. So that's from Hexagon Stitches. I believe she's on Etsy. I think I'll link her in the bottom. She has a YouTube channel, but I think her shop is on Etsy. So, and also some kitty stickers, which are so cute. So thank you for sending all that my way. That was really fun. And it came really fast, faster than expected. So now I am ready to go whenever this gets called again. It was not called in June, so I'll have to wait a little bit, but I'm ready. Ready to get that finished next time it comes out. I think that's all my extra bits. So we'll start with travel stitching. I can't actually show you my travel stitch because I am still working on Stardust from the Fat Quarter Shop. This is a charity stitch along that they're doing in coordination with Make-A-Wish. It's a free pattern. There's also a free quilt pattern. And then they're encouraging you to go ahead and donate to Make-A-Wish through their link on their blog in lieu of paying for the pattern. So this one was released in 2 chunks. So I have the first chunk done. I'm working on the second chunk, but since it's not released to you until later, I'm only going to show the first chunk here on my channel until the second half is released, which I believe is on the 6th of June. So that's coming up here pretty quick, but in the meantime, I'm going to film a little clip that I'll include in when I do reveal it all later, because I want to be able to share it and remember what I was doing. So I'm going to go ahead and film that now, but I won't show it. So just know I've been working on it. I'm about 3/4 the way done. So I may or may not finish it this week, depending on how much travel stitching I get. But it'll be finished soon. It's coming along pretty quickly. All right, I also forgot, I usually start with my books of the Bible. This is my Sunday stitch. So I did work on this week. I got one length of thread done, which actually I'm using the called for Belsois silks, which are 12 stranded. And I'm doing this 1/1 on a 25 count. So one strand, a yard long, does a lot of stitches. And I just finished my last strand of the first length that I took off the card. So this is how much brown you can get on 25 count with one length of 12 stranded silk. Pretty cool. So I did, this is Through the Stones by Bee Stitch Me on a 25 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And I did the Deuteronomy and just a tiny bit of the border. I used up a lot more thread doing Deuteronomy than I expected to. So next time I'll keep going across here. This next little is a motif with greenery and flower. So that might be all I get to this coming week. And then I'll keep going on the words. But whenever I have a little bit left of my thread and I'm done with a word or a line, I'm going to add more to the border, as I go down. So that's fun. I told my son in the car, I'm like, it's Deuteronomy Day. And he's like, what? So then I showed him what I was working on. He's like, oh, that makes sense. Threw him for a loop for a little bit. Then we have Secret Garden, which is what I work on when I'm chatting with my sister. And this one got time last Tuesday since I filmed, and today already I worked on it a little bit as well. So the whole thing was just released today. So we now have this purple, not purple, we already have the purple flowers, the pink flowers over here into the matching pot and the rest of the squirrel tail. So it's all done. Now I can put it in Pattern Keeper. I'm at like 29, probably 30% done now with what I did today. So this is this one. This is a 28 count mystery green by Live and Die LA, 1/1 full cross, called for DMCs. And I think I worked on the bees last week and started in on this birdhouse. And this week I worked more on the birdhouse, just a little bit. I didn't have as much time today because I'm kind of rushed. But I finished the tan bits and started in on the little flower wreaths that they have around the openings of the birdhouse. So that's fun. So this one is now that it's in Pattern Keeper, it can be in my list for temperature stitching too, which I will get into during plans at the end. So right now for my kind of miscellaneous time, every day I'm doing stitches according to the Giro d'Italia, which is a cycling race in Italy. And so every day they have a certain number of kilometers they're racing. So that's how many stitches I'm stitching on one particular project. that ends, the Giro d'Italia ends on June 1st. So, and the Tour de France doesn't start until July 5th. So I have a little over a month in between with no cycling races, but I also have a lot of life in the middle there. So I decided I'm not going to pick up any small cycling races in June. I'm just going to do either nothing for bonus stitching or temperature stitching. I'm going to go back to for most of the weeks of June. So I will show you my temperature choices, a full 10 choices, one for each digit, which I'll get started on June 2nd. So I think I'm going to show you that at the end, which is really fun. So right now for Giro d'Italia, I've been working on Little Owl Patchwork Sampler by the Historical Sampler Company. This was a mystery stitch along the beginning of the year, and I am almost done. So this will be a finish tomorrow, I believe. So here is this one. This is on 25 count Frost by Be Stitch Me, 1/1 full cross with the called for DMC. And I've done a lot since I've seen you last, and I only have 240 stitches left. So according to just stitching with the Giro d'Italia stitches, I will finish this on Wednesday. It is now at 96.38%. So all the little owls are done. The trees are done. This part is done. The bottom border's done. So I just have these corners left. The quilty corners, they'll look like those. That's all I have left is those corners. So pretty fun. And so I was surprised when I went in. I had assumed, oh, I didn't grab it. Oh, I have something else I need to go grab. But I had assumed when I had put all my numbers together back on May 5th, I believe, of things in Pattern Keeper. I'd updated my spreadsheet, and then I went and pulled 3 different projects that I wanted to now have in Pattern Keeper. So I, got PDFs. I charted one of them myself just so they could be in Pattern Keeper. And the Snow Many Friends by Luminous Fiber Arts, which is the one I forgot downstairs. I'm gonna have to go get that. That one, I thought, according to my spreadsheet that I had printed out on the 5th, would have been the next project with the least amount of stitches remaining. However, I had like 5 days of temperature stitching between when I made my spreadsheet and when I started the Giro d'Italia stitching. And played with all my other PDFs and added those 3 in there and just wrote them on the paper. Well, one of the pieces that's on the list has fewer stitches remaining than Snow Many Friends. And I didn't realize it until I was looking at it yesterday. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to switch over to Snow Many Friends next because Meadow has taken its spot. Meadow got called for temperature stitching like right before the Giro started and got just enough stitches to edge it up above the amount left that Snow Many Friends has by like less than 100 stitches. So it's kind of crazy. So Meadow by Carolyn Manning will be my next one that I will be working on for the Giro d'Italia. And I guess it's in here. So I will show that one now because I will be working on this starting Wednesday for however many stitches they're cycling. This is by Carolyn Manning. I'll show you the cover page. This is part of her bouquet collection. It is not a full coverage. There's fabric show through. The center is symmetrical, but the corners are different, which I think is fun. Keeps it interesting. So this one is on a 25 count, I think moss green, Lugana 1/1 full cross. And so I'll be starting to work on this for Giro d'Italia stitching, which will accelerate it significantly from just temperature stitching. So it's going to go real fast here, starting tomorrow after I finish Little Owl Sampler. Little Owl Patchwork Sampler. So this is my next Giro project. And it won't get finished during the Italian race. And I don't know if it will get finished anytime during the temperature stitching in June because it just depends on how often it gets called. But likely it will get finished during the Tour de France there in July, and then I'll move on to Snow Mini Friends at that point, and hopefully get that one done before the end of the cycling races as well. So that's the plan. I'll go ahead and show my main projects, and then I'll go get Snow Mini Friends and regroup to show you the 10 temperature pieces that I will have starting on the 2nd. So for my main projects this week, I had Bear Time Stories, which was my gift stitch for this week. I have 4 different gift stitches, and I like to give them each 2 days a month, if possible. So this is Mini Bear Time Stories by Randall Spangler, artwork charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And so I had been hoping to maybe finish the color I was on, but I didn't quite get there. I didn't have as much time as I wanted, but that's the way life goes, right? I did get 947 half stitches. This is 40 count Verdal 1/1, full cross, half cross. It's half cross. And it's now at 33.54%. I would like this done in 3 years. So I need to step up my game a little bit because there's still a good amount left. But I am currently color completing this color, which had a lot of work in here. There's a little bit more here in its foot. I think I did everything in this cover panel on the book, but there's more over here in this corner I still need to do to finish that color. And then I'm going to color complete colors within the teddy bear itself, which I think will be kind of fun. But something I noticed, which you may not be able to tell very well, but I kind of realized at some point, this is going to spell out Bear Time Stories once all the colors are filled in. The cover of the book is titled Bear Time Stories. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. In the original artwork, there's also Bear Time Stories written in blue on the spine, but this is the mini and that doesn't show up in the mock-up. This doesn't show up as words right here at all, but it does show up. Fairly legibly, you can see Bear Time Stories come up on this part, which is gonna be really fun. So I'm happy about that. I didn't realize it. I'm sure I noticed it at some point early on when I bought the pattern, but I hadn't realized that because you don't look at the cover all that often when you're actually working on the project. So I was working away. I'm like, these look like letters. Oh, hey, I can kind of see what they're going to be. It was really fun. So that was great. Worked on that Monday and Tuesday of this past week. Wednesday, I did not have any time at all on my main project, which then, as has happened the last couple weeks, bumps things. So this week I ended up bumping my stitching shelf because I really wanted to work on the 2 kind of miscellaneous projects that I had chosen for this week. And I'm feeling a little bit of pressure to get to everything. And since stitching shelf has had some time this year, obviously it'd be nice to have more, but I decided to bump it. So that's that one. Did not get worked on Sunday because I didn't have any time on my main project on Wednesday. So Wednesday and Thursday is supposed to be my Whipgo call days, and I did that Thursday and Friday instead. So this was My Story by Jeanette Douglas, was my second Whipgo call for the month of May. I will work on this again this week for 2 more days. I didn't get as much done on it as I would have liked because, again, the week was busy. I'm working here in these motifs here, and I even added a little to this top of the following column because it was the color I had out, and I just kind of kept going. I think it's this one. So this is fun, but yeah, I was going a little slow, and I think I was just distracted. Honestly, I have a new game on my phone that was kind of distracting me. That'll do it. So here is this one now. This is on, I think, a 32 count lamb's wool linen. So if it's a cross stitch, it's a 2 for 2. A lot of the specialty stitches are 1 strand. Unless they're a satin stitch like these ones were, then they're 2 strands also. There's some beads in there too, which is fun. 1/1 peacock bird thing, and then this is the start of a set of books. But when I had this color book on my thread, on my needle, I decided, oh, it's also in this flower, and then I still had some more, so I said, oh, it's also in this vine, which the vine keeps going a little bit farther, but that's my thread ran out. So I will probably do the cross stitches in this and in these motifs all at the same time because some of them overlap. So might as well. So I will hopefully get some better progress on that this week. There's another couple days on it. And that'll be fun. Then Saturday I pulled out Tulip House, which I didn't want to not work on because I've been looking forward to this for a while. This one is by Cross Stitch Patterns 1T on Etsy. And it's in Pattern Keeper, but it's got a few too many stitches remaining to be in my top 10 at this point. But hopefully soon, if I keep working on it, every once in a while, keep chipping away at it, I'm hoping I will eventually have it in my temperature stitching because that would be really fun. So this time I ended up only working on half stitches, but it got my numbers down for the total number in the piece. I did some sky stitches. This is 32 count ice blue linen, 2/2 full cross. The half stitches in the sky are actually a 2-stranded half stitch. It was only one color, I think. It was a blend. It was in here and here and here and came down here. This is the side of the house, actually. It's so straight right there. So I did 547 half stitches. It's now at 6.78%. So progress. So for just one day, it was a decent amount. So that was good. Hopefully I can pull that out, make an excuse to get it out again before too long. And then on Sunday, I was still debating if I should not do Rainbow Princess, which was my full coverage I'd kind of picked for this week, or not do Stitching Shelf. And I ended up really wanting to do Rainbow Princess because it'd been a little while since I worked on this one. It's by Stitch Witch Cat on Etsy. And I'm up here in this like branch of flowers, I guess. There's more over here, but this is like a littler one. And I thought I might get into some more of these colors, but really there was a lot more stitches in here that I still needed to do that were like oranges and pinks and yellows and stuff. So I did those. I didn't do a lot on this. I had not that much time, but I got 108. So it feels like I got a proper, at least a minimum amount here, 108 full crosses. This is a 25 count khaki, 1/1 full cross, and it's now at 0.4%. There's still a long way to go, but I thought it was fun. I put in several colors here. I'm picking symbols in this block right here. Some of them ended up down here or like one over here, but mostly here on the edge. So that's that one. Again, it'll be nice to give this a little bit more time at some point, but a little is better than nothing. I think just for the sake of time, I'm gonna just put a picture in of Snow Many Friends when I get to that point. For my plans, I have 2 weeks of plans to share with you because I won't be able to film next week. Some of my family's gonna be in town, so we're gonna be hanging out. I won't be able to film. So I actually worked yesterday on Ranunculus for one day, and I'll be working on that again one more day today. This is my last gift stitch for May. I will also be working on this for my gift stitching next week, the first rotation of it in June, and they'll just be back to back, and that'll be okay. So this is by Cooler Design Studio, designed by Nancy Rossi. It's full coverage, but it is designed, so that's fun. And I love this one. It's so bright and happy. Yeah. So I still have some thread on my needle, but because I'm coming back to it today. Here is this one. It's on a 24 count Congress cloth, I believe in light mocha, maybe? And it's a 2/1 half cross. I'm picking symbols in the 3rd row, so I filled in a lot of this yellow rose and this bud right here, and some green. I think I did some green as well. There's a little bit down here. So I have yellow on my needle as well right now, and I think there's one more color, empty color right here. yeah. And then I'll probably pick that color, whatever's there, you know, so that's kind of my thing. So this one got, yesterday, it had $513 half stitches, which for one day is a decent amount. And it's now at 24.19%. So we'll see what I get done on that one tomorrow. Yesterday was a rest day for the cycling race. So I didn't need to do any stitches on that. That does tend to take some time away from my main projects, especially if my afternoon is busy. I can't get to the cycling stitches until later. So, but you know, it is what it is, and it's fun because I'm motivated to do it because I'm getting things done that way, and that's exciting. So I'm happy for that. I'll work on that again today. So that's my plan for that one, and next Monday and Tuesday. I'm going to work on my story again this week for a Wednesday and Thursday, hopefully, for more Whipgo time. My Whipgo project for next week is going to be blackwork, flower, and butterflies. And I will have this be my, yeah, this is my first Whipgo piece for June that I'm going to work on. And this one got pulled out last month in April, so it's not, hasn't been that long. I have, you know, changed all the colors to be Victorian mottos, but they're close to what's called for. And so this is my starting point on this one. I would love to finish this year, so we'll see how I get on with this. This is on a 28 count light blue even weave by Artiste, I believe, that you can get at Hobby Lobby. Cross stitches are 2/2, and then the black work back stitching is either one or 3 strands. I can't remember if anything is 2. Maybe these antennas and stuff are 2 strands, but yeah, so that's fun. I will enjoy getting that back out again. And then I thought, so this week, my kind of bonus pieces that I picked up, I clearly really want to work on them, because when I was figuring out what bonus pieces I wanted to work on in June, I had these 2 picked for my June stitching, and then I went over and realized I still had a couple days in May that I hadn't worked on those projects that I'd chosen yet, and I was like, oh, I already picked those for May. Clearly, I've been wanting to work on them. So I erased the times I had them down in June and picked something else because I have already chosen these. But I'll finally get to work on them. So the first one is Roses of Provence by Mirabilia. It's been a little while since I worked on this, probably last year, but I love this one. It's so pretty, and I think I have her head done, so we'll see where I get to on what hopefully I can get a day on this. So here is this one. Oh, so pretty. So this is, what is this on? 32 count Stonehenge, I think, by Color and Cotton. It's a linen, 2/2 full cross for everything, and see all the bling in her hair is all done. Since I stitch in hand, it doesn't matter, I can bead as I go, even with the big jewels. So it's so fun. So we'll see what I work on. I'll probably finish her skin because it looks a little empty and weird right here. I only do 2/2 skin, unless it's charted to be 1/1, like Teresa Wensler sometimes charts face, and occasionally I think some of the old Lavender and Laces have to, because they have the features charted 1/1. But if it's charted 2/2, I'm stitching it 2/2. So that's fun. Hopefully I have time to work on that for one day. And then my full coverage that I want to work on, if I get time, hopefully, is Elegant Lady with a Bouquet. And this is Mini Elegant Lady with a Bouquet, artwork by Emile Vernon, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. And I'm just up at the top in the area around her bow, so nothing too exciting, but the potential is there to be exciting. So I do like to work on this one. This is a 25 count cream or antique white or something, 1/1 full cross. So I'm excited to get, hopefully get a day on that one. And I worked my way all the way to the other side using just the top row of symbols, But then now I've been coming back and picking symbols in the 10 by 10 grid. So I'm probably, yeah, I've got some empty stitches in the bow. So I'll probably be working on bow this time actually. So that'll be fun. And then since it's going to be a new month starting on June 1st, I will have a new seasonal Sunday piece. So my seasonal Sunday piece will now be my Summer Floral Cross by Janlyn. You can also now find these on the Cooler Design Studio as well. These Janlyn kits I don't believe are available anymore, but I have 3 of the crosses as a Janlyn kit. So it came with all the Aida, all the flosses, so everything is as kitted. 14 count white Aida. And I started all of these in the center and quickly worked my way to the top, and looks like I don't have a whole lot done on this one. A lot more I got done on spring this time around. So I'm excited to make some progress on this one. Get some more of these background letters filled in, get the top here sorted. And so yeah, that's my starting point on that one. And hopefully before I see you again, I will have worked on this twice. So we'll see how that goes. It's very stiff Aida still, so I might have to, I don't know, it's been in my roll for so long that it's kind of remembering the roll now, so I may not need to use those thread peels. I used to do that on these really stiff Aidas when they're newly rolled to keep them in the roll, because if they unroll, then it's like you have to constantly be holding it tight, and it does actually make my hands hurt. Normally, holding my fabric in a roll doesn't hurt my hands unless it's very stiff and I have to hold on to the roll because it just wants to unroll. But since I store them in the roll, it remembers the roll essentially and then doesn't unroll every time you let go. So that's good. And then next week, I already mentioned my gift stitch and my Whipgo stitch, ranunculus and blackwork flower. For my kind of bonus days, this month I decided to pull out my two of my oldest whips. One of my oldest whips is going to be in my temperature stitching, so that one will hopefully get a little bit of attention in that. But my other 2 oldest whips, I don't actually know which one is my oldest, but I thought I'll bring those out for kind of my bonus days here for the next couple weeks. So the first one I'm going to pull out is In the Beginning, which is an old Dimensions kit. And this one got started back in November of '99. So it's an oldie. I was in college. And it's an 18 count fabric cream that I got at the craft store. So there's very little margin. This is literally like maybe an inch and an eighth, inch and a quarter, but it's okay. So here is my starting point. I will probably, like this is not quite the bottom, but I will probably continue to work up here to work from the top down. So that's my starting point. So I will hopefully give this Friday and Saturday, give it some time, see how I can get on with this one. Maybe eventually get it done. We'll see. So that'll be fun. And I do plan to pull out Antique Shoe Collection a couple weeks here in June as well, which I know some of you have been eager to see that one come back out again. So I'll show that one next time because I won't work on it before I see you again. So I think, oh yeah, now I can go through I'll do this quickly. I only have about 10 minutes, but I have my projects for temperature stitching. So starting on June 2nd, the cycling race will be over. So I'm going to go back to stitching 30 minutes on whichever project is associated with the digit of the temperature from the day before. So the high temperature. So I have 0 through 9 assigned to a project. And then, so whatever, if it's the temperature 75, I'll work on the project that is assigned to the number 5. So I decided, I had been working on, originally when I started doing this, I had full 10 projects, and then I felt like some of them were getting closer to the finish, and I really didn't like not getting to them all the time, and I felt spread too thin. So I condensed it down to 5 projects, and every project had 2 digits associated with it. But now that I'm kind of chipping away at those with these cycling races, I'm feeling a little more like spreading out again. So I'm going to do a full 10, which is very exciting. So the first one for the number 0 is Meadow, which I already showed you, because that is the one with the least amount of stitches remaining. So it'll be even less stitches remaining after I've worked on the Giro cycling stitches for, let's see, 4.5 days. So it'll definitely be in that 0 spot. So that's the first one. Then Snow Many Friends by Luminous Fiber Arts. I'll show pictures of what the cover page looks like, and I'll hopefully go back and find my last, what I showed in my video, because I don't want to have to go back and find it. But that one will be for the number 1. The number 2, oh, here it is. The number 2 will be Cupcake Dreams, which is a Tilton Crafts freebie. Artwork by, oh, it's just random Shutterstock artwork actually. But this is Cupcake Dreams. This is on a 28 count. Oh, Carolyn, yeah, Meadow I already showed you is a 25 count moss even weave. Snow Many Friends is a 25 count Bee Stitch Me. I think I don't remember. I'll have to look that one up later, but it's a dark blue that came in the fabric of the month recently. I was like, oh, it's perfect. Because I started that in February at the retreat I went to. So this is a 28 count, like a mint green Jubilee 1/1 full cross. So that's the starting point on that one. These first 3 have 3,000 something stitches remaining. So they are close-ish. Hopefully, potentially, all 3 of them will be done before the end of the summer, and all the cycling races and the temperature stitching and all of that. So that'll be really fun, I'm hoping. And then Secret Garden, which I showed you from the Historical Sampler Company that I work on with my sister. That one is number 3. Number 4 is Simpsons. That's my secret stitch for my husband. So this one will come back into the rotation again. That's this one. This one has almost 5,000, 4,900 and change. Here's my starting point on this one. This is 40 count Verdal 1/1 half cross. So just this bottom bit here left to do. Then we have a new one that you haven't seen in a long time. It's not new. This is one of my oldest projects. Oh, I didn't even bring the cover page up. But this is, I have a kit of this, To Everything a Season sampler. It is now also available on Cooler Design Studio as traditional sampler. So I purchased the PDF a while back. I got it posted in Pattern Keeper, filled in my progress, and it is now number 5 on my list. Or it's the 6th on the list, but it goes with the number 5. So here is my, I guess I'll hold it back for my before and afters. This is with all the kit materials, which is a 28 count even weave, which is kind of fun. So it's 2/2 full cross on the 28 count even weave. And that's my starting point. It has a little bit of specialty stitches. It's like a Bargello right here, big four-sided stitch. There's some satin stitch, stuff in here. Most of it's full crosses, but there's a little bit of other things. So this one has a little over 5,000 stitches remaining, not counting the specialty stitches because that doesn't go into Pattern Keeper, but so it'll be really fun to finally get this back out and chip away at it in little chunks whenever the number 5 is called. So number 6 is Cat Bookshelf. I didn't think about the cover pages for these things. So some of these things I won't have the cover page to show you, but this is another artwork by Randall Spangler, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and I am just doing this book right here. So that's why it's so close to a finish, because I filled in all of this and all this in Pattern Keeper as done. And I'm just, how many stitches I have left in this one little section. So I have, oh, I was wrong. Let's see. Simpsons has 5,000 left. To Everything a Season has a little over 8,000, 8,600. Cat Bookshelf has 12,000 left. So this one is a cute short one. And this is on a 28 count. I think it's Water Lily Jobelan, which is like a tannish green. It is a 2/1 half cross. So there's the start of that one. I am picking symbols in the top and then working them wherever they go until the thread runs out. So you can already start to see kind of a little bit of the definition there at the top of the book. Then the next one is Christmas Visit, which is a lavender and lace. I don't have a cover picture with me, so I'll put a picture up of that one. And this one has been recharted into be able to be used in Pattern Keeper. So this one has 14,000 stitches left. I'm doing this on 46 count linen in something. I can't remember. I'll have to tell you later. But that's my starting point on that one. And I am picking symbols from the top down. I've already got a good amount of the back stitching in the door started, which is not in Pattern Keeper. That's extra. And I'm working on the girl, or the lady. The next one is Autumn Calico Cat. Oh, no, just kidding. The next one is Celtic Ladies Sampler, which I actually don't have my cover page for that one either. This is one I put together myself using part of all the Celtic Ladies by Lavender and Lace. And so here is my starting point on this one. So this is on a 32 count lamb's wool linen. And I probably will be, I think this is, yeah, I think this is summer right here. So I will probably work on summer during the temperature stitching in June. And so that'll be fun to get that back out again, get some attention, even if it's in small chunks. That one has about 14,000 as well too. Oh, funny, Christmas Visit and Celtic Ladies, literally 3 stitches apart on how many stitches remaining they have, which is fun. Very close race. Then we have Autumn Calico Cat by Vivsters, which you would have seen the last time I worked on all these temperature pieces. That's what this one looks like, which is a fun one. It's not full coverage. The background is fabric, so I am doing it on a navy fabric. So this is 25 count navy, 1/1 full cross. So that's fun. Those colors just pop and it's pretty enjoyable. And that one has like 14,600 left. All right, so I think that's everything. I will go have lunch with my family and I'll have fun stitching. I hope you do too. Enjoy the next 2 weeks. I'll be back in 2 weeks. And remember, if you want to be entered in the drawing for the I Am Who I Am pattern by Sweet Marmalade in Stitches, leave the word lemonade in your comment. So, because her Etsy shop is Sweet Lemonade D Studio, I believe. So, on Etsy. And with that, I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful 2 weeks, and happy stitching. Bye.